think you know what fear looks like? In the next few minutes, I'm going to rewrite your definition of reality. We are not talking about blurry legends today. I'm showing you a government prisoner transforming in real time inside a holding cell. I'm showing you a predator that ignores your guard dog and stares directly into your doorbell camera. I'm showing you wolves in a public zoo using MMA wrestling tactics that no animal should know. I dare you to watch all the way to number 15 without checking your window lock. Do you have the guts, or are you just prey? Let's find out. The Silent Golden Retriever Man. We are starting with a TikTok account named TristCute that broke the algorithm for all the wrong reasons. No username, no bio, just a series of videos uploaded in a single hour. And the content? Pure nightmare fuel. It's just a man sitting in a dimly lit room, wearing the face of a golden retriever. But this isn't a furry convention or a comedy skit. There is no music, no trending audio, no captions, just dead silence. Skeptics scream costume, and maybe it is. But look at the eyes. In a standard mask, the human eyes are usually deep set, hidden behind mesh or plastic. Here, the eyes are flush with the face, wet and terrified. And watch the movement. They are darting, left, right, scanning the room with a frantic, paranoid energy. Masks don't have peripheral reflexes. This doesn't look like a prank. It looks like a medical documentation. It looks like someone recording the transition, sitting in silence because they physically can't speak human language anymore. Hunters net juvenile dogman in Siberia to the frozen wilderness of Siberia, where a group of locals managed to do the impossible. They netted a dogman. But look closely at what they caught. This isn't a wolf. A wolf on its hind legs is unbalanced and awkward. This creature is fighting the net with the stability of a human wrestler. Look at the chest width and the way the arms, not front legs, arms, are positioned to push back against the restraints. The most disturbing part is the face. It's not just snarling, it's screaming with a rage that feels frighteningly intelligent. It knows it's trapped, and it's calculating which rope to snap first. These men think they have a prize. They don't realize they just caught a scout. And where there is a scout, the pack is never far behind. Never corner something smarter than what you think you know. When a wolf is trapped, it panics. When a dogman is trapped, it communicates. That scream wasn't fear, it was a distress beacon. By the time these hunters finish high-fiving each other, the rest of the pack is already circling the perimeter. You don't catch a dogman, you just start a war. Guard dog standoff with dogmen at Texas Sheep Ranch. We are heading to a sheep ranch in West Texas, where the security cam captured a turf war between domestic dogs and something that belongs in a horror movie. Two Great Pyrenees are barking frantically at the fence line. They are bred to fight coyotes, but they are hesitating here. Why? Because they are looking up. Perched on the wooden gate is a lanky, bipedal creature with glowing eyes. It's taunting them. It raises its arms high, making itself look larger. A classic primate intimidation tactic, not a canine one. But zoom in on the right hand gripping the post. That is not a paw. Those are elongated fingers with a distinct opposing thumb. A wolf scratches, a bear swipes. This thing is grasping. It is holding onto the fence exactly like a human would. This is the difference between an animal and a monster. Your guard dogs are waiting for it to jump over so they can bite. They don't realize that the thing on the fence isn't trying to jump. It's looking for the latch. If a predator has thumbs, a locked gate isn't security. It's just a puzzle. And this thing looks like it just solved it. Squatting Dogman Blocks Road in Youngstown, Ohio. The graveyard shift is already hell. But for one factory worker in Youngstown, Ohio, the real nightmare started on the drive home. At 3:15 a.m., his dash cam recorded something that defies logic. In the middle of the asphalt, under the dim amber streetlight, is a massive, hairy figure. But look at the posture. Wolves sit on their haunches. Bears stand or sit flat. This thing is squatting. It's a deep human-style squat. Heels down, knees high, elbows resting on the knees. It looks like a gargoyle detached from a cathedral. This isn't an animal resting. It's a sentry holding a position. It's blocking the only exit route from the industrial park. It isn't afraid of the headlights. It's waiting for the driver to make the mistake of getting out to check. This is a classic roadblock ambush. Predators know that humans are curious and helpful. If we see something in the road, we slow down, we stop, we get out. That creature is counting on your empathy. If you see a shape like this in the road, do not honk, and definitely do not stop. Your car weighs 2 tons. Use it. Guard dog repels, pale crawler in Montana ranch. Let's debunk the myth that these things are just mindless animals right now. Mindless animals fight when provoked. Intelligent monsters calculate risk. Watch this security feed from a remote sheep ranch in Helena, Montana. A brave Belgian Malinois is about to face off with an intruder, but look at the entry technique. The pale, hairless figure vaults over the wooden fence with terrifying ease. This isn't a clumsy animal scramble. It swings its legs over and drops into the pen with the precision of a parkour athlete. The physique is disturbingly human. Broad shoulders, long arms, and a spine that stands fully upright. But here is the terrifying part. The dog charges. The creature could easily rip that dog apart in seconds, but it doesn't. It freezes, glances toward the farmhouse, and immediately vaults back out the way it came. Why run? Because it remembers. A wolf sees a dog as a rival. A monster that used to be a man sees a dog as an alarm system. It knows that if that barking continues for 10 more seconds, the lights will turn on, and the rancher is coming out with a 12 gauge. It didn't flee from the dog. It fled from the ballistics. The midnight visitor in Duluth, Minnesota. Imagine hearing a polite knock at your back door at midnight. You think it's a neighbor in trouble. You unlock the deadbolt, pull the handle, and your reality shatters. This footage comes from a secluded cabin in Duluth, Minnesota. The witness claims she heard scratching, then knocking. She recorded this the moment the door swung open. Look at the creature stepping across the threshold. This destroys every Hollywood werewolf trope we know. In movies, they are bulky, hairy monsters that roar. This thing is terrifyingly lean, with a skeletal structure that looks ancient and diseased. It isn't a dog. Dogs don't have shoulders that wide or necks that thick. And it isn't a human in a suit. Look at the joints and the impossible length of the limbs. But the most chilling detail is the hand. Those aren't paws. Those are elongated, articulated fingers tipped with razor-sharp obsidian claws. It's holding its arm out not to strike, but to balance as it enters human territory. It didn't break the door down. It waited for her to open it. The last recording in the Ozarks. If you have ever wondered what the last thing a missing hiker sees looks like, you are looking at it. This footage was recovered from a damaged phone found deep in the Ozark Mountains. The camper heard breathing outside his tent and turned on his flash. What he illuminated is biological horror. Look at the upper body mass. A timber wolf is lean and aerodynamic. This thing has the deltoids and trapezius muscles of a bodybuilder abusing steroids. It is top-heavy, built for crushing force, not just running. But the true nightmare is the jaw mechanics. Watch when it roars. The mouth doesn't just open, it unhinges. The commissure, the corner of the mouth, stretches back way past the eyes. That isn't a canine trait. That is a reptilian trait designed to swallow prey whole. The camera shakes violently at the end because the camper realizes the flashlight didn't scare it. The light just showed the beast where dinner was sitting. When you see a mouth that wide, you aren't looking at an animal. You are looking at a disposal unit. The cornfield charge in Lincoln, Nebraska. If you think running through a cornfield is a good escape plan, watch this. Recorded in Lincoln, Nebraska. The creature is charging on all fours, but look at the mechanics. A dog gallops. This thing flows like liquid muscle. It is closing the distance with terrifying efficiency, its shoulders pumping like pistons. But the detail that should make you sweat is the front right paw. Look at the extension. Those aren't just pads, those are 5-inch serrated knives designed to hook into flesh and not let go. It isn't running to scare the cameraman, it's running to tackle. And with claws that sharp, it doesn't need to bite you to kill you, it just needs to tag you. By turning around and sprinting, you aren't escaping. You are chemically signaling to the predator that you are prey. You cannot outrun a biological Ferrari on a dirt track. Your only chance, your only tiny chance, was to stand your ground. The moment you turned your back, you signed your own death certificate. The driveway stalker in Grand Rapids, Michigan. We are going to a quiet neighborhood in Grand Rapids, Michigan. It's 8:24 p.m., the kind of time you take the trash out. But watch the shadows behind the Jeep on the left. At first, you just see movement. Then, a massive, bipedal figure slowly steps out into the open. It isn't rushing, it's patrolling. When it stands fully upright in the center of the driveway, the scale becomes undeniable. This isn't a coyote. It has the thick, matted fur of a timber wolf, but the upright posture of a man. It looks almost too fluffy, like a costume, until you see the reaction in the background. Look at the street behind the creature. A neighbor is out for a walk. He freezes, sees the silhouette, and immediately sprints in the opposite direction. He didn't stop to record. He didn't laugh. His survival instinct overrode his curiosity. He saw a predator, and he ran. Trust the reaction of the locals. If this was just a prank in a costume, the neighbor would have stopped or stared. The fact that he turned and ran for his life tells you everything you need to know. When the monkey brain says, run, you don't ask questions. You run. The stooped walker in Taylor, Mississippi. Deep in the woods of Taylor, Mississippi. At first glance, your brain tells you this is just a wolf prowling the timberline. It's dark, it's furry, and it's moving through the trees. Normal, right? Wrong. Look closer at the gate. A wolf trots on 4 legs. A bear waddles on 2. This thing is doing neither. It is walking on its hind legs, but look at the posture. It is hunched over, keeping its center of gravity low, almost parallel to the ground. This is called a compliant gait. It keeps the knees bent to absorb shock and eliminate the bobbing motion of a head. It's a stealth tactic used by special forces, and apparently by this biological nightmare. It isn't hurt, it's hunting. It's trying to keep a low profile while maintaining the speed and height advantage of a biped. This footage teaches us about mimicry. By crouching low, it tricks you from a distance. You think deer or hog. By the time you realize that the deer just stood up and walked behind a tree on 2 legs, you are already within its striking range. Your brain wants it to be a normal animal. Don't let your denial push you into danger. Orange cat versus dogman in Asheville, North Carolina, with a clip that proves nature has a sense of humor. We always talk about cat versus dog, but this isn't a golden retriever. This is an apex predator. The security camera catches a massive, blue-gray creature creeping up the lawn. Look at the shoulder muscles bunching up as it stalks toward the porch. It is ready to kill. It is ready to breach the perimeter. But standing in its way is a single, fat, orange tabby cat. Now watch the psychology shift. The dogman freezes, It expects the cat to run. Prey runs. Food runs. But the cat just sits there, radiating pure, unadulterated arrogance. The monster is confused. It thinks, why isn't it scared? Is this a trap? And then the impossible happens. The cat takes one step forward, and the biological tank on the lawn panics. It spins around and sprints back into the darkness, abandoning the hunt immediately. This proves that confidence is a weapon. That dogman could have crushed the cat like a grape, but predators are cowards at heart. They fear the unknown, and apparently there's nothing more terrifying to a werewolf than an orange cat that simply doesn't give a damn. The government experiment in a holding cell. You think you've seen transformation scenes in movies? Forget CGI. This is what it looks like when human biology is forcibly rewritten. We are looking at a leaked clip from an undisclosed facility. The subject is a young man, seated for what looks like a standard intake photo. He looks nervous, maybe a bit smug. But then, at 0:05, the pain hits. He clutches his stomach, not like he has a cramp, but like something is trying to claw its way out of him. Watch the skin. It doesn't just stretch, it rips. Patches of coarse black fur erupt instantly, not gradually. But the detail that screams medical experiment is the spine. Look at his back. The vertebrae don't just shift, they explode upward, forming a jagged, prehistoric ridge. His scream is silent in the vacuum of the room. But look at the face. That isn't acting. That is the look of a man whose consciousness is being devoured by a beast. This footage forces us to ask the uncomfortable question. Is this Hollywood-level makeup, or is it Project Lycaon? If it's fake, give this man an Oscar. If it's real, then the monsters aren't just in the woods. They are being manufactured in a lab, and someone just lost the remote control. Dogman attacks home in Blackwood, NJ. We are checking a doorbell camera from a secluded home in Blackwood, New Jersey. It is 2:36 a.m., and the fog is thick enough to choke on. Watch the approach. The creature emerges from the mist like a phantom. It walks right up to the front door, bold as brass. It doesn't bark. It reaches out and tests the wood with claws that look like steel spikes. It's checking for weakness. But when the door holds, look at what it does next. It doesn't run away. It turns its attention to the only witness present, the camera. It brings its face inches from the lens. Look at the dental structure. That snarl isn't animalistic aggression, it's a direct threat. It knows what the camera is, it knows you are watching from the other side. We rely on locks and cameras to feel safe, but a lock is just a delay tactic for something this strong. And a camera? A camera doesn't protect you. All it does is let the monster know exactly where the audience is sitting. Dogman MMA match in city zoo. This was recorded by a tourist at a city zoo. Location redacted. They thought they were watching two wolves establishing dominance. They were wrong. Look at the stance at the start. Wolves bite and snap. These two are squaring up like boxers. But the real giveaway is the grapple. Watch how they lock arms. Not legs, arms. They are using leverage, shifting weight, and performing takedowns that you see in a UFC octagon, not on Animal Planet. This is technical wrestling, not instinctual biting. And the aftermath? Look at how they lie down. The exhausted wolf curls up or pants on its side. These two are sprawled out on their backs, limbs splayed wide, chests heaving. That is exactly how human fighters collapse after the final bell. Zoos are the perfect hiding spot. Who looks for a monster in a cage labeled wolf? But if you pay attention to the body language, you realize some of those exhibits aren't holding animals. They are holding prisoners of war. And that brings us to the end of our journey tonight. We've seen 15 pieces of evidence that might keep you up at night, from the zoo enclosures to our own front porches. But remember, my goal isn't to make you paranoid, it's to make you aware. The world is a mysterious place, and I'm glad we are exploring it together. Now, I need a signal from you. If you are hungry for more hidden files on these creatures, drop a comment saying "Dogman" or "Werewolf" below. Your vote decides our next investigation. Thank you for being brave enough to watch until the end. Until next time, stay curious, and please, stay safe.